that you work with the others, not others work for you. And that's what humble works. A lot of us, especially for those who suffer from self-doubt, we are people pleasers. I think setting that boundary, no matter if it's in work or in relationships or even in family.
How can the humble person survive in such a hard time?
I feel like
クロスリグ101始まります。今日のテーマはですね、謙虚な人こそがビジネスで勝つというテーマです。これ見てる人も結構内向的だったりとか、ちょっと遠慮しがちだったりとか、最近だとインポスター症候群という言葉を聞くんですけど、ちょっと自分に自信がないみたいな人もいると思うんですけど、私もたまにそうなるんですけど、いやそういう人こそですね、こうやってみんなこうやって前のめりになって、トランプさんとか出てきてすごい強引に物事が進む時代に、そういう謙虚な人こそ実は最強なんだっていう本を書いた人がいて、謙虚な人の作戦帳っていうこれ素晴らしい本がダイヤモンド社から出てきて、ジル・チャンさんという人が書いています。ジル・チャンさんに今日は台湾から来てもらって、本人もちょっと謙虚な人みたいなんですけど、謙虚がなぜ強みになるのかっていうことを聞いてみたいと思います。早速ジルさんをお呼びしましょう。So, Jill Chang, welcome to our show.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you so much for having me.
So, you have released your new book in Japanese, and 謙虚な人の作戦帳. It's such an interesting title. So, before we move on, so I'd like to introduce you to our audience.
Sure.
So, we've known each other for 2 years?
2 years.
And I've been to Taiwan and met your family.
Yeah.
And so, you're a really interesting person because you're like a successful business professional. You were in the field of professional baseball, and you worked for the U.S. government.
Yes.
And now you are in the philanthropy program and an international business person. So you're very successful and a bestseller author. Yes? Okay.
Yeah, okay. I guess.
But at the same time, you describe yourself like suffering from imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
So what kind of person are you?
What kind of person am I? I feel, I'm very quiet.
You're quiet.
I'm introverted. And since I was a child, people say that being quiet is not good enough. So I feel like a part of my imposter syndrome comes from you're not good enough. You don't have the right personality, and you need to show up more. You need to stand up. You need to speak up more. So like growing up, I don't feel confidence enough. And to some sense, I feel like I'm not such a good person, or I don't deserve everything I earned. I feel like, it's all luck, or it's all because other people's help. Like when I'm on the show, I feel like, if this interview works well, it's all because of you, or because of the staff, not because it's never going to be because of me. So I struggled that a lot through my whole career.
It's interesting that you are struggling from the notion that you do not deserve your status or your success, even though you're successful, in my opinion. But so it's interesting that you're not trying to change that, but using that as a strength.
Yes. I think in the beginning, I tried to change that because I want to be as confident as everyone else. I feel like I'm wrong. I want to be right. But then I realized maybe I just need to embrace who I am. Maybe I just need to improve, but not to prove. Maybe I can just do whatever I have now, whatever tools I have, whatever personal traits I have to reach my goals instead of changing myself into a different person. So I think that pivot was critical for me because I started embracing who I am, and then I achieved success in everyone's definition, and I feel happier.
Are you comfortable with yourself right now?
Yes. Yes.
I would like to kind of talk about this book. Before that, you in the preface, you said that you wrote this book because you were in Japan.
Right.
Why is that? And do you think Japanese people and people in Taiwan share the same characteristics of being kind of an introvert compared to, maybe it's a stereotypical view, but Americans or Westerners?
Yes, I feel that personally, it's for me, it's very personal. It's not stereotype because I travel a lot between U.S. and Taiwan, and last time in Japan too. I feel like in Eastern culture we are more conserved and quieter, and whereas the U.S. culture or Western culture requires people to really speak out.
And speak out
more. Yeah, to show who you are and to convince the others.
And like a discussion, like
exactly,
debates.
Exactly. And we don't do that. Like we are not trained to do that, and sometimes we're not encouraged to do that. So this book was born in Japan because I suffer so much from imposter syndrome since the success of my last book, Quiet is a Superpower in Japan. I didn't expect, that was my first book, and I didn't expect it to be successful because I was nobody, and nobody writes a book and become a best-selling author. But that happened to me. For a lot of people, they say it's a gift, but for me, it's more like a burden. I feel like I don't deserve it. And sooner or later, people will find out that I don't deserve it. I'm not that good. And I am such a loser, but pretending to be a winner. And so I was afraid, and it was a burden. And it lasted for like 4 or 5 years because I kept going on interviews and I kept saying international messages about the book and asking for suggestions or advice. And I feel like I'm faking because I don't deserve it. And you're asking me so much. How do I give good advice? But it was from 2 years ago that I visited Japan, and I had the opportunity of meeting readers in person. I gave a talk, and I had an opportunity of seeing people's eyes, and that made me realize, oh, maybe my book was helpful to them in some way. And I was very much encouraged by that because at that moment, I feel like although I'm still fake to some extent, but maybe I can do something to help people to become a better version of themselves. So after that trip, I actually started writing my next book. I can write again. I started writing this book on the plane flying back to Taiwan. So this book is literally born in Japan.
And raised in Taiwan.
Yes, raised in Taiwan.
Okay. So let's talk about the book. And to be clear, I don't think you're fake. I think you're very important and you're inspiring a lot of people, including this audience today.
Thank you.
So today, 3 topics. Number 1 is kenkyo in Japanese. Being humble is the quality of next generation leaders.
Yeah.
And the second topic, being humble is the strongest weapon. It's an interesting word. Number 3, a message for the humble people watching this show.
Yeah.
Like useful techniques they can use from the next step.
Yeah.
So let's talk about being humble. So in the book, it seemed to me that maybe the next generation leaders needs to be humble. Do you think that way?
I do think so. Yeah. I think this generation's leaders need to be humble too.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why is that?
Why is that? Because I think being humble means that you could listen. And listening is such a critical part in all kinds of communications. So I think being humble means putting you not in the center of everything, but to be open to different ideas, to listen and to reflect on yourself and seek improvements all the time. And I think those are great qualities for everyone, including leaders, or even though you're just a team player or a team member, you don't have to be a leader to have that good qualities. Instead, the qualities make you good leaders. So I feel like being humble, being open to discussions, being able to listen to the others is such a critical part of working with everyone.
It's interesting because in business context, being a leader means to be very aggressive or being strong. But you were mentioning that being humble is important. So what does being humble mean in society or like companies or organizations?
Yeah, I think these two actually they go hand in hand. Being humble doesn't mean that you're not strong, and being strong doesn't mean that you cannot be humble.
Interesting.
Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like I'm sure you know an author called Jim Collins.
Yes.
And from his work, there are 5 categories, 5 levels of leaders. And the top leader, the most successful leader, which he means level 5 leader, in his research, he found that all the level 5 leaders, they have personal humility plus intense professional will. So that's the 2 things that made them level 5 leaders. So in that sense, actually being humble actually makes you stronger.
So in your book, you mentioned a lot of Japanese manga characters,
yes.
like Captain Tsubasa,
yes,
or Slam Dunk,
yes,
or Naruto.
Yes.
So they're all shonen manga, and it's in Japanese shonen manga, so boys comics. So they're very strong, very aggressive.
Right.
So how does that coexist? So do you think those characters are humble, or are you seeing a different characteristics in those characters?
You know what? What I notice is that a lot of popular mangas, like Captain Tsubasa or, for example, a Slam Dunk or One Piece, it's all about teamwork. Right?
That's right.
Yeah, it's not about, oh, I'm the best, so I conquer the world. No, it's never like that. It's always, I'm good.
Even Rukawa passes the ball to Sakuragi-san.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yes,
yeah. Teamwork.
Yes. Because I'm good and because my team is good, so we conquer the world. It's not like, yeah, I do this by myself. So I think that actually implies a huge sense of humility. It means that no matter how good you are, you also need a team, and also you need to work with the others to achieve your goals, whatever that is. So I feel like even though I'm not a superstar, I can be supportive. And even if in some scenarios I know the best, I still need supports from the others. And that's what humble works, right? That's how humility works. That means that you work with the others, not others work for you. Yeah, and I think for leading or for managing, that's a very helpful concept too.
Interesting. So let's move on to the second part. So being humble is kind of a strong weapon. So there's an interesting passage in your book. So it's in Japanese, but I'll try to translate it on the spot. Okay. So if you're humble, you become very cautious. So this will be a strong point on negotiations. And you're mentioning 3 points because if you're humble, before the negotiations, you prepare a lot.
Yeah.
Number 2, you pay attention to very small voices, trivial voices if you're humble. So you can figure out the risks.
Yeah.
And number 3, you listen to the others.
Right.
So I think this is a great passage in your book because when I hear the term negotiations, I think I have to be strong, aggressive.
Right.
But you're saying that very humble, being an imposter can be a strength. It's a vice versa thing, but
exactly.
Yeah.
And that speaks to my personal experience too. Because I remember when I worked for the US government, we had a lot of negotiations, whether it's between companies or between other parties. And in that negotiations, my boss is always the one that wants to persuade everyone. Like, I come here to win. So
very American.
Very yeah, but me as an Asian girl, I feel like no, I'm not here to win. I'm here to support my boss to achieve our goal, which is like the government's goal or from our party's goal. So I always over prepare and I always analyze all the possibilities and do my own strategy planning in front, ahead of the negotiations. I do so much research and I always come with a lot of papers and binders to the negotiation. But my boss, he's like, no, I don't need this. I just need to be there and convince everyone on the table. But that didn't work all the time. And really remember there was one time that my boss was stuck in the negotiation because it was him doing all the negotiation, like leading all the negotiations on behalf of our team. But there was one time he was really stuck. He couldn't find a way to fight back and to achieve our goals. And we were losing. We were really losing that negotiation.
Even that strong boss was losing. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, very experienced person, very bossy person in that negotiation, still losing. And then I put out a piece of paper saying right there. So
wow. So
yeah.
you had all prepared the document
Exactly.
so you can point out to the exact sentence or passage. Okay.
Yes, right there.
Right there.
That's the number we need. And with that number, we won the negotiation. So I think these are very good examples of how humble people, how well-prepared people, how listening people, because we are so observant, we're so prepared, and we see the changes and hints in negotiations. And in negotiations, it's always life. It's always back and forth, right? So those hints, those information are critical in like quick decision scenarios like that.
Interesting. So you prepare tons of documents. It's because that you're afraid and anxious of the risks.
Exactly.
And you're saying to yourself, what if I fail?
Yes, all the time. Like, I don't want to fail. What if I fail? What if they ask me about this? I couldn't answer. So yeah, it's a staff's job. It's, of course, not my boss's job, but I prepared well, so I helped my boss to win that negotiation.
Interesting. Do you think this is a technique that people who are watching this and maybe they're humble and they're very anxious, where they are saying to themselves, I don't deserve my position? Do you think that's a good way to change their mindset?
Exactly. Just because you think, and only because you think you're not good enough, you will be humble to the situation. You will respect your opponents. You will respect the team. So you will prepare yourself to the best. You don't want to cause trouble to your teammates, and you don't want to lose. And you're so afraid of all the risks. So you will have a full packages of plans, of strategies, of everything. And that's actually the reason that you're winning.
In your book, you're mentioning that business is not like an Olympic game. So you're not like competing with others. And it's important to be different, and that's the important part, which in the end of the day, if you're different, if you're humble, you stand out.
Yes, exactly. And I also think nowadays people appreciate team players more. So if you are willing to, and if you're open to working with the others, you respect their opinions and you value their contributions, people are more willing or likely to work with you. And for us, we don't need, like, nowadays, who's a superhero? There's no superhero, but we need a super team.
Interesting. No superhero, but super team is needed.
Yes.
That's a good point.
Yes. So humility, back to our discussions, humility is the one component that brings the team together to become a super team. Right.
So Jill, so we live in a very hard times. So I don't want to talk politics too much, but President Trump, Elon Musk, very strong men, mostly men.
Yeah.
And they are hard negotiators.
Right.
Even Trump says, big deal.
Yes.
I'm good at making deals.
Yes.
So we live in a time, so making deals, strong negotiations. What do you think of that? Do you think, how can the humble person survive in such a hard time?
I feel like success, in order to obtain success or achieve success, there are different ways. And if you look at American presidents, President Trump is like one style, and looking at President Obama, that's a different style. But I cannot say which one is more successful, but at the end of the day, you need to value the cost of achieving that success. If the success means making America a very powerful country, you also need to evaluate the cost that America is spending on becoming a successful or the most powerful country in the world, right? And I used to think that geniuses, they don't need to be humble. Like, for example, Steve Jobs, he's so smart, like such a genius. He doesn't need to listen to anyone else. But that only comes true. Apple is only successful because there's a group of people
That's right.
who follow Steve Jobs, follow Steve Jobs' vision.
Yes.
And to make that vision come true, still you need to have a team. And you need people to be willing to working with you and to cooperate with you. It's not like, hey, I pay you a lot of money, so you need to work with me like this. Of course, people will do that, and people still do that in some company. But personally, I think it's not going to last long, and there will be a lot of turnovers because money can't buy health, money can't buy happiness. You know, there are several aspects in life that you want to evaluate. But as an employee, if for example, I'm sick and tired of this bossy leader, I may leave. And for that company, it's not the best scenario. So back to our discussion, I feel like success can be achieved in so many ways. But whatever it is, still you need to have good communications. You need to have a good team around you. And for me personally, I think humility is the key to have that team supporting you.
Do you have a good team around you?
I do. My teammates are the best, like literally the best. And the best thing that I like our team is that we always think about each other. It's not like, oh, I want you to do this, so please go ahead and do that. It's more like, hey, we need to do this. What do you think? And how can I support? So yeah, I enjoy that environment a lot.
I can tell because for this recording, they have 5 people on your team watching you. So very good team.
I owe them so much.
You owe them so much.
Yes.
They're trying. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So Jill, do you have any examples of people who are famous who are humble?
I think Shohei Ohtani would be a perfect example because looking at Shohei Ohtani, he's like the best player in the history of baseball, right? Almost, or one of the best players. But he's so humble. He respects the game, he respects the teammates, and he respects himself. He works hard, and then he achieved so many achievements that nobody else could have achieved. So I think, yeah, that's a great example right there. You can be humble and powerful and influential all the time, like all together.
Right. So being humble is the strength for Shohei Ohtani.
Exactly. Yes.
Let's go to the third part of this discussion. So people watching this, they understand being humble, maybe the strength. So any like practical advice or strategies you can give to our audience?
Yeah. I think the first strategy or the first advice is always accept who you are. I think a lot of us, like growing up, I want to be more persuasive or more bossy because I'm not that person. Think about it. We want to be someone else because we are not that person, right? But embracing yourself is actually more powerful. How long
did it take you to embrace yourself? Or are you still in the process of embracing yourself?
I think I started embracing myself at the age of 30 or 33. Yeah, so it was a very late in my career. And I'm still, like you said, I'm still trying to accept who I am.
Do you still want to be bossy and strong and very...
In some sense,
in some sense?
In some sense. I feel like in some scenarios, being bossy is really helpful in getting things done.
Getting things done, okay.
Yeah, but I feel like that's just not me. It's not my style, and it's not my value. I want people to be happy around me. I don't want to. I don't want them to work and then complain a lot, and then eventually lose their health or anything. So yeah. So the first thing is always to embrace who you are.
Yes.
And the second is always to set your own priorities. Because a lot of us, especially for those who suffer from self-doubt, we are people pleasers. We want everyone to be happy.
Yes.
But that's not possible.
At the same time, killing yourself.
Exactly. If I am paying too much attention on the people around me and I want everyone to be happy, that means I need to sacrifice myself or my goal or my team.
Yes.
And that's definitely not my priority. So I think the other advice is really to really prioritize your resources, prioritize your goals, and then set your priorities. And the last is always to set your boundary.
Boundary?
Yes. Because back to the second point, because we tend to be people pleasers, and sometimes we think about the other people too much, that we end up sacrificing ourselves, sacrificing our own values, or sacrificing our own whatever it is. And I think setting that boundary, no matter if it's in work or in relationships or even in family, I think having that boundary, protecting our own priorities and energies is critical for humble people.
So in your book, you talk about like perfectionism. So so do you think that people who are humble tend to try to be perfect?
Yes, because we don't others to blame on us. So we prepare a lot. We don't want risks. We don't want failures. So we want everything to be perfect. And that killed me for a very, very long time. And I was even hospitalized for it. You were hospitalized? Yes, because I want everything to be perfect, no mistakes. Everything needs to be flawless. But nobody's perfect. And we cannot do everything perfectly. So that was a really huge cost that I paid. And now I realize that there's a line. Like seeking excellence is one thing and seeking perfection is another. So I recently read a book called Being Imperfectionist. It's by Stephen Gauss. He says that Okay, so failure. How do you define failure? The thing failed because of you. That's failure. For example, when I'm applying for a job, I send my resume to the wrong email. That's a failure for me. But if I did everything right, but after interview, the company didn't push me to the second round, that's not a failure. That's called chance.
Interesting.
Right?
That's right.
Right? So it's more about attribution. It's internal or external. So I feel like you need to really draw a line to know that whether this is your problem or not your problem. And we need to focus on the ones that we can control instead of the ones that we have no control of. Yeah.
So let's go back to your example of your negotiations when you're in the U.S. government. You prepare tons of materials. So what's the difference between preparing, trying to think all the risks, and being a perfectionist? Is there a difference between the two?
I think to some extent it's more like how comfortable you are.
That's a good point. Being comfortable. Okay.
Yes. If you prepare, you are comfortable walking in that negotiation.
You have confidence.
Yes.
I did my homework.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that you need to kill yourself before the negotiation, right?
That's a good point. So that's one of the tricks to figure out if you're just a perfectionist or you're just preparing, how you feel comfortable.
Yes, and if you want this to, I think the line is that if this is because of fear or if this is because of you want something to happen.
That is an excellent point.
And
Thank you. And you want to be yourself and wanting someone instead of just fearing about it. Yeah,
fearing about risks or failures. I think that's a huge difference. I can go into the negotiation and thinking, I want this to happen. That's seeking excellence. But if I go into the negotiation thinking, I don't want to fail, that's you're asking for perfectionism.
So you come to Japan a lot for like book tours. Do you think that, Japanese people are very humble?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. I actually experienced a huge culture shock last time when I came here and I went back to the US. I feel I started writing an email and then I realized I'm saying too much sorry for Americans.
Okay, because you were staying in Japan.
Yes.
Yeah, we say sorry
all the time.
すみません, すみません.
Yeah, すみません.
So すみません is not only sorry, but kind of excuse me or trying to
exactly.
Okay.
And my manager told me specifically, she even like quoted an article in New York Times saying that stop saying sorry.
すみません. Yeah, we say that a lot.
Yeah. And it's not really sorry, it's more like an expression, right? But it really depends on the listener. In Western culture, it's like you're apologizing when there's nothing to apologize, right? Yeah. So I think, and in overall, like Japanese or Eastern Asian culture is more conservative, more like, oh, sorry, it's all my fault. I don't want to bother you. Like,
I once told my team members to stop saying sorry, and he said sorry for saying that. So he was like, すいません, すいませんって言ってみたいな.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have to wrap up. So maybe my final question. So any final message for our audience? And I highly recommend this book to our audience. So you should get this copy. 謙虚な人の作戦帳. I like the cover.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's like a notebook. You can keep it with you.
Yes. A lot of my readers, they keep it like whenever they go into important negotiation, they read it.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Or going to an important presentation, they read it. Yeah. And I think the journal is a great point because that's what I recommend people to do.
Oh, journaling.
Yes.
Okay.
I call it good things journal. Like every day we experience a lot of things, but please record the things that you think you did good.
You do it every day?
Yes, in that journal. It doesn't have to be long. Sometimes just like 2 sentences, like, oh, my boss say the temperature of the tea is perfect. So yeah, even very small things. And whenever next time you face challenges, you can always go back to the journal and think, oh, this is something I actually did good. I'm not worthless. I can do things. The challenges may be bigger, but it doesn't mean I cannot do it. So that's evidence right there. You can do it, and you have the ability to try and to expand your comfort zone. So yeah, I really recommend
good
people
things
doing
journal.
that.
It's a good advice. Yeah, and you can write like even little things because to me you seem that writing good things every day may be a burden for some people because we're not good at things every day. But it can be very little things.
Very little things. Yeah. Like. Even for things like, someone complimented on my jacket, that's a good thing. That means I made good choice, right? Yeah.
So by the way, your jacket matches the background.
Yeah, that's my stylist.
Okay. You're a very humble person. I complimented you, but you're giving the credit to your stylist. So
yeah, that's her job. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope this interview was a good thing for you today.
It was.
Please write it down in the journal.
I will tonight. Yeah, definitely first one. I had a good chat with Ryan.
Okay, thank you so much, Jill Chang. Thank you for joining our show. And 皆さん、ぜひチャンネル登録をお願いします。I asked the audience to subscribe to our channel.
Oh, thank you. Yes, please do.
So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.